All right, I'm back. I am back with part 2 of Jay's Knit, a walkabout double lace shawl. And everyone has been very excited, and I've gotten great reports and all kind of sweet comments. And of course, everybody said, Jay, I'm ready. So my son was out of town, was gone, but he's back, so I was able to hurry and get this ready. So, without further ado, let's get started. All right. Now, you have knit up to, as far as you needed to go to your shoulders, and you stopped on row 12. Now, this is the same book. This is a book that we took the first lace out of. It was a double diamond lace stitch. Now, I'm using the same book for the second lace. I thought, well, why find a new book? Let's just look through here, and lo and behold, I came across, I think it may be one we've done before, but it is, let's see, can I pull it down? Oops, I hit the camera, sorry. It is called, in this book, it's on page 177, and it's the Lace Diamonds. The Lace Diamonds, and it's a multiple of 6 plus 1. So, same book, to make it simple, for those that have this book, and if you come across it at Joann's, of course they have it at Joann's now, and you can get a coupon and get it very, at a very good deal if you can't get it off Amazon. But there's the book again. Just want to show you we're using our books. And then here is the finished shawl that I did in real time. I may have to back out to get some of it in on camera, so let me just see how far out I can bag. Okay, so here we go. This is the one that was, it's Lions brand Heartland, but it's the tweed, some type of tweed, and, but it feels heavier than the first one. It doesn't feel as silky, but it'll come in handy later on next year. You see, I won't have to rush and try to either re-knit the shawl or, I'll already have it. And as you can see, it's very pretty. It has a nice little drape to it. Has kind of a tweed effect. But you could try this in, like I say, in threads or in even heavier yarns if you like a heavier look. So, now, the next thing we're going to do, I'm going to have him put the information sheet for this section, part 2 of this shawl on the screen. And then we will take it step by step where we would continue lace number 1. Now know that the edges are lace number 1. And then as we go into lace number 2, the center will be lace number 2. And we're going to combine them. So it's going to take a little more work, a little more positive energy, positive thoughts. A little more, you got to kind of watch it a little better. I don't know if you'll be able to watch TV and do this. Maybe you can listen to an audiobook or something. But we will continue. And of course, this goes across the back, just like the green one. Let's see, can I get some of it on the camera here so you can see the pretty lace? Let me check it and see how that looks. Oh yeah, look at that. I'm going to hold it up some. So we have the 2 mirror image laces on each edge, and then this simple lace, the lace diamonds out of the same book to put in the back. Or if you're new, like I'll show you at the end, I have you can make it a lot easier. So at the end of the video, you'll see I've just show you some other samples and things that you could do if you're not quite ready to do this. You can just simply stay in stock and knit on the front, purl on the back. And of course the back, there's no increases or decreases, just knit it straight. And then of course you have to go down, 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 down the decrease side. Let's see how that looks. So, I thank you for giving this a try. I'm excited. So, on the screen will be your information sheet. Take your time. Make sure you write down the patterns. Keep the 2 patterns separate. And actually mark them lace number 1, lace number 2 to keep yourself in order. All right, back in just a minute. We're ready to get started. All right, so here I am on this is lace pattern number 1. We're still working the double lace on each side, and now I'm getting ready to turn my work, and I'm ready to start row 12. This is row 12 of the double lace, and I wanted to show you this is where you want to stop. This is, well, not stop, but this is where you're going to start the new segment. Once we finish row 12, I'll show you how to finish it. Once we turn, we're going to be adding the new lace in the center lace. So real quick, let me do row 12. I just thought I'm not going to put it on the screen, I'm just going to read it out. It says knit 2 together. This is row 12 of the double lace. Now, yarn over. Now I need to knit 3 together. Just so that we're all on the same page of when we turn and add the new lace. Then yarn over and knit 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 stitches left, so I knit those 5. Okay, so now, this is where, if you are still new, and you think, well, Jay, I want to enjoy the shawl, but I don't know if I can do all the, I'm not sure if I'm ready to try to work 2 patterns at once. You will continue on, but from this point, once we turn and finish row 12, you just stay in the stockinette here in the center. You just stay knitting on the front, purling on the back. But there's no increases or decreases across the back. You will not have to work if you don't want to go into the second lace pattern. But if you're going into the second lace pattern, we need to make a stop row right here. So as I finish row 12, instead of purling across, I simply keep my yarn in the back, and I'm going to knit all of these stitches that I would normally purl on row 12. So I'm going to knit over real quick. If you are not going to do the center lace, you purl this row and continue working rows 1 through 12, but with no increases. And you will have just a regular, a real pretty double lace shawl, but with stockinette in the center and not the extra lace. And it's still pretty. Because once we start this double, adding the new lace, you are going to have to kind of concentrate. It's not that the pattern is hard, it's just a lot going on, and it's a lot easier to get off and not, you can't figure out where you are because there's 2 separate patterns. Alright, separate stitches, separate patterns, separate everything. Alright, so now I'm coming up. I am knitting across because I am going to put the center lace in this shawl. I see the next marker coming up. I'm already in the knit position. Let me read it out to you again. So on this side, we're knitting the pattern as we would normally knit. And it says knit 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Now I want to yarn over, knit 3 together. Get it in there. and then yarn over and knit the last 2. I have just finished row 12, and when I turn the work, so can I turn it around now? You can see that by knitting on the purl side, make sure I bring it down. All right, so now we have a line drawn, a line in the sand. All right, this line tells me no more increases, and I start the new, I will be adding the new lace pattern. The next thing you want to do right here, you want to stop, okay? Count all the stitches you have between this marker and this marker. Just sit there and count your stitches. 2, 4. I had 36. Let's see what I have on this one. I don't know if it's the same. Well, it's not because I stopped early. Let's count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32. I have 34 because I stopped a little short. I didn't go up to 10. All right, so now we need to make a new formula. We need to make a new formula so that you can work. So can I glue a little sheet of paper here? All right. The second, let me get a marker also. All right. Okay. Now this, the second lace has, this is, you see where I'm on my thing? All right, you can see that. Lace number 2. It is a multiple of 6 plus 1. And I just counted mine, and I had 34 stitches. You will count yours once you decide, where you're going to stop between the markers. Now, the next thing I need to do is try to put, let me adjust my camera. I think that's good. Yep, right there. All right. I need to put 6 into 34. All right. On the first scarf, I had 36, so 6 went into 36. 6 times 6 is 36, but I didn't have room for the plus 1, so I had to drop down to 6 times 5 was 30, plus the 1 equals 31. Okay? All right, now, on this one, we have to drop down a little more, maybe. So 6 times 5, well, let's see, 6 times 5 is 30, plus 1. So that's 31, so I can still do 31, so 6 times 5 equals 30. 6 times 5 equals 30, plus 1 equals 31. So now, I have 34 stitches that I've counted out. I've already counted it out. So I'm going to take away 31. And that's only going to leave me, I don't have many stitches on this one. 3 stitches. Now, when we do another calculation before, I'd say, well, let's just make this number even. But I don't want to change any numbers because once I finish the back, I don't want to have to remember, I added a number to go down to decrease the other side. So I'm going to stay with whatever number you get. It doesn't matter. Whatever number, just leave it. Just leave that number. So I took my 31 from my 34. That left me 3 stitches left over. And this is what we're going to do. I'm going to write up a little formula real quick, just using that. I'm going to have a border. I'm going to put, I need a little separation, and it doesn't have to be equal, but a border of 2 on one side at the neck edge, the straight edge of this shawl. Then right here in the center, okay, I have 5 repeats, so that's 31 stitches right there. I'll put markers on each side, and then that just leaves me a border of 1 on this side. And you add it up, it gets me back to 34 stitches. Just real simple on this one. but at least I know now how to. This is just for the center. The lace number 1, we're still in pattern. You've got to have that pattern. We're already there. This shows me what I will do for the center. So I'm going to knit 2 stitches after I do the edge, knit 2 stitches. Well, we'll just go through it. And then, but I have 31 to actually put the lace in. And then I end with 1 stitch here and then the other lace. Does that make sense? I don't know why I'm off this morning. I didn't sleep well last night. Oh my gosh, I don't know what in the world. I was just fighting the bed all night long. Oh, I don't know. Hey, such is life. I don't know. I wasn't sick or nothing. Nothing hurt. All right, so I forgot this was a different pattern and I should have gone on up to 10, but that's okay. All right, now let's go. First of all, as soon as we turn the work, I have to stay in my original pattern. My original pattern is lace number 1. Row 1 of this pattern, we simply knit all the stitches. Remember? Knit all the stitches until I get right here to my new pattern. So let's do that. See if I'm on. I may have to do this again if I'm too uncoordinated this today or off kilter. I may have to change the whole thing. Who knows? All right, so pattern, lace number 1, the double lace, I knit on the right side. So I'm just knitting till I get up to the marker for the new lace and my new formula. So I'm just knitting. All right, I see the marker. All right, stop. Now I slide the marker. Now I am in the lace number 2 zone with the new working formula. And that formula for me, and your formula, you write yours out just like I did. But first of all, let's see, we're going to knit 2. 1, 2 for me. Because that's all the stitches I had. I didn't go up to 10. All right, now I'm going to read you. You're going to have to, and I suggest have these on, like I said, there's 2 different sheets. Take your time. You know, you can either screenshot, you can screen shoot it on, you know, and get it off the screen, or sit there and write it on 2 index cards. And be sure to label lace number 1, lace number 2. So now here's my lace number 2, and of course I'm giving you the sheet on the screen. But I've got to have my sheet just like you. I've got to have some way to look at it. So, lace number 2, my lace pattern number 2, row 1 is the right side. Let's check everything. We are on the right side. I've already taken care of lace number 1 here on this side of the marker. For me, I knit 2 stitches. It says, now this is, you're going to read it just like it would, like you normally knit. Knit 1, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 2 together through the back loop, and then repeat it till you get to the last stitch, and you will end with a knit 1. All right, let's go. Now, if you cannot, this is only 2 stitches. Maybe I better put a marker. You could put a marker right there to remind you those 2 stitches are just filler stitches, or 3 or 4 or however many stitches you have. When you're with that leftover number, divide it so that a larger number is here at the neck, and then just whatever's left, a couple, 2 or 3 stitches, you know, are here on the bottom end of the lace. It just looks prettier, and it's better to have the larger number here at the neck. All right, let's go. Knit 1. I'm reading my pattern and working it as I go across. Knit 1, and I have 5 repeats. Knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over. Now knit 2 through the back loop. See, just knit 2 through the back loop. All right, now repeat that. And you can see the mark. Just make sure I'm on. You see the mark? Now, it says the repeat is knit 1, knit 2 through the back, knit 2 together. Just knit 2 together. Yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 2, but knit them through the back loop like this. Just put your needle in back. Okay. And I need to repeat. Here we go. Knit 1, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 2 through the back loop. Another repeat. Knit 1, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 2 through the back loop. Oops, knit 2 through the back loop. Another humid day. Alright, as I see, let's try. This should be probably the last one. Knit 1, last repeat for me. Knit 1, knit 2 together again. Alright, now yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 2 through the back loop. See that? Then you knit 1. That's how you finish that row, knit 1. Now remember, I had 1 stitch here. Remember a filler stitch? You may have 2, depending on how many stitches you have. You may have 3, however you divided it up. Now if you need to put a marker here to separate this 1 stitch, just if you're new and just want to, because it will throw you off after a while, you're going like, oh my God, where did I get this 1 stitch? Oh, you might forget that it was just a leftover stitch. So then I just knit that 1, and then I slide the marker. Now I'm back to what lace? Lace number 1. And on the right side, the first thing you look to see what side you're on, and it will help you. I'm on the right side, so whew, oh, thank goodness I didn't mess up anything. I'm supposed to just knit on lace number 1, so I just knit across. I don't have to worry about any increases or decreases now. All I have to do is just do the 2 lace patterns, just work them as they are. Oh, there we go. There's lace number 1 on each side. Here's the beginning of lace number 2 on this side. Alright? Now, on lace number 2, all wrong sides we will purl. It's just the opposite. Let me show you. Let's see if I can do it without changing the camera. I hope this is not too dark. Hope it's not being too dark. Okay, so I'm going to change or flip the work around. Take it 1 lace pattern at a time. For lace pattern number 1, which is my edge right here, when I turn, alright, I'm on row 2. I'm on row 2 because on lace pattern number 1, all the magic happens on row 2. And I have a mark here. I still have my little yarn, and I can move that up. Alright, so I'm not going to put 1 back on the screen, so I'm going to work through it real quick. Alright, so lace pattern, just to kind of get started. Alright, it says knit 1. This is row 2. Yarn over, knit 1 again, yarn over, okay, knit 2 together, knit 2 stitches together, yarn over, knit the next 2 stitches together, and then knit 3. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. End of lace 1. So now I move my eyes over, like if you have 2 index cards or something right side by side. Now I go to lace number 2. We are on row 2. And I slide my marker. Well, first of all, I see that row 2 on lace number 2, you purl. So I put my yarn in front. Now I can just slide the markers and start purling. Purl that, slide that marker, and I can purl to the opposite end, to the next lace marker. So let's see, can I do it real quick just to kind of give you a feel of it, and then we'll just start working the center lace. I won't take time to do the first and the center. It just takes too long. You should have that center down. Was that fun working? You're going to see, if you ever need a quick sweater with a pretty lace front edge, if you would just do this shawl to get used to this. Like I said, every lace stitch, you cannot do this, especially ones that have any kind of, where it says bind off 3 or 4 right in the middle somewhere or at the end of a row. Those will not work. But every once in a while, and like I said, I have 2 or 3, maybe more, a little more maybe, that just by happenstance, I saw that it would work, and so those are the ones, just like I showed you on the pink sweater. Like I said, I did that years ago. I was small and everything, and so I started using it to make sweaters, the front of sweaters, and it is so much easier and quicker. All right, as I see that I am coming up, do not lose any yarn overs on your lace. This is lace in the center. Take your time. I am purling because it says purl on row 2. I come to this first marker. Those are just filler stitches, so I purl on those. Now, I can see I'm at the first lace marker again, so yarn in back on row 2. Slide the marker. Now it says reading in the correct direction that I normally work. Knit 3, 1, 2, 3, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, and knit the last stitch. I have completed row 2 of each pattern. Let me turn it. You can't see anything yet, but you can tell that we have stopped, and now we have entered the back area, the second lace zone, right in there. Now, I'm going to move my marker, and I will be on row 3 and row 3. Now, if you notice, on lace number 2, there's only 8 rows. On lace number 1, there are 12 rows. So they'll match up for a while. That's why you need 2 different papers or index cards or something, because they will match up for a few rows, and then after a while they won't match up. And then it'll match up again. So to keep yourself from being confused, have a marker, have some way of on each index card or piece of paper. So now I'm on row 3, and I'm going to work them appropriately. All right, now, and like I said, now as I'll reset my camera, but from now on I won't work lace number 1. I'm just going to work back and forth and show you when I get to lace number 2 each row as I call them out. So I will see you back on lace number 2, row 3. That makes sense. All right. All right, I'm back, and I am up to lace number 2, and I am on row 3, and it is the right side. Row 3, I'm going to read it, and then we'll work it. knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 3, yarn over, slip 2, knit 1, pass the 2 slip stitches over, and repeat. The repeat is yarn over, knit 3, yarn over, slip 2, knit 1, pass the 2 slip stitches over, and keep repeating to the last 5 stitches, and you will yarn over, knit 3, yarn over, knit 2 stitches through the back, knit 2 stitches together through the back loop. Alright, so let's go. I've already knit 2, and yarn over, knit, now I'm ready to knit 1, 2, and 3. Alright, and then do a yarn over, slip 2 stitches, 1, 2, knit the next stitch, reach back and pass the 2 slip stitches over the one you just knitted. Alright, that's done. Now you go back to, now let's start the repeat. Yarn over, knit 3, 1, 2, and 3. Yarn over, slip 2, knit 1, pass 2 slip stitches over. And again, let's repeat. Yarn over, knit 3, 1, 2, and 3. Yarn over, slip 2, knit 1, pass the 2 slip stitches over. Oops, did I do, yeah, I did 1, now 1 more. Yeah, pass the 2 slip stitches over. And again, I have to repeat. Yarn over, knit 3, 1, 2, and 3. Yarn over, slip 2, 1, 2, knit 1, pass the 2 slip stitches over, 1, that number 2. And for me, I look down and I should have 5 stitches left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In those last 5 stitches, I yarn over, knit 3, 1, 2, and 3, yarn over, then knit the last 2 stitches right there together through the back loop. So I go through the back loop, just like that, and knit those stitches. And of course, I have to finish up by knitting that 1 extra stitch I have. I don't know how many you had, but I knit it. And since I'm on the right side, and this is pattern 1, this is lace pattern 1 here, and on the right side you simply knit. So I can just go ahead and knit just like that. Like I said, on this part of the video, I'm mainly going to be working on lace 2 right in the middle. You should be up to speed on lace number 1. Alright, so now when I lay it down, I have my lace number 1 on each side, the double laces, and then here is, I just finished row 3 of the second lace section. Alright, so row 4 is a purl side for this center section. So I will see you back at row 5. I will see you back and we will knit row 5. Alright, so I have finished row 4. Row 4, I finished row 4 of the lace 1 pattern on each end. That's why I worked the lace. Now, and then I finished row 4 of the center lace number 2, which all I had to do was purl. Just stay with your rows. That's all you have to do, and have them on 2 separate sheets or cards, just so that you're working back and forth, one by one. Don't try to memorize or get ahead. Take it 1 row at a time. Now I find myself on row 5, and since I'm on the right side, I know that lace number 1 on the right side you just knit. So I knit over. I'm knitting over to the markers. Now, where my lace number 2, I have to work. I slide the markers, knit that. Now I'm up to row 5 of lace number 2, and it reads, knit 1, yarn over, knit 2 together through the back loop, knit 1, knit 2 together, yarn over, and repeat until you have one last stitch and you will knit 1. So let's go. Here we row 5 says knit 1, yarn over, knit 2 together through the back loop. Okay, now knit 1 stitch, knit 2 stitches together, and then yarn over. Now go back up to the front and repeat. It says knit 1, yarn over, knit 2 stitches through the back loop, knit them together through the back loop, then knit 1, knit 2 stitches together, okay, yarn over, repeat, knit 1, yarn over, knit 2 stitches together through the back loop, like that, knit 1, knit 2 together, and then you have to do a yarn over. Alright, go back up, repeat again, knit 1, yarn over, knit 2 together through the back loop. There we go. 2 stitches through the back loop. Okay, now knit 1 stitch. Oops. Knit 2 together. Yarn over and start again. Knit 1. Yarn over. Knit 2 stitches together through the back loop. Knit 1, knit 2 together, and you end last stitch with a knit 1 right there. Can you see it? Okay, knit 1. And of course this is that little extra stitch, so I'd go ahead, and since now this is lace number, that ends lace number 2, now here's lace number 1, the other side. And on the front, always see what side you're on and you won't get confused. This is the right side, so all I have to do is knit. So I just knit those stitches to finish off lace number 1. I really enjoyed this, but you can just in places lose concentration, or your mind just goes like, huh? But don't panic, just stop and see where you are and you will find your way back. Alright, so now let's look. I just finished up row 5 on each sheet, on each lace, 1 and 2. So now I'm going to move my little markers to row 6. I'm going to move to row 6 here and row 6 there. So far they're still matching up, but soon, they won't match because, there's 8 rows on the second lace, and 12 on the first. But we'll keep going. So now I will see you back. Let's see. We're mainly working now on row 6 is a purl row on this center section. So I will see you back on row 7 for this center. Row 6 is a purl row. I'll see you back on row 7. Row 6 on the first lace is actually a row you have to work. Does that make sense? Just stay with your sheets. Don't try to, I won't even talk. But I will see you back at row 7 because I'm trying to just fill in the center part on this video. Alright, keep going. Alright, so I have worked row 7 of my lace number 1. So now I'm up to row 7 on lace number 2, the center lace, right here in the center. So let me just get over, knit those extra stitches, slide the marker. Of course, on pattern number 1, all you have to do is knit because we're on the right side, remember? Alright, so row 7 of this center section, lace number 2, reads, row 7, knit 2, yarn over, slip 2, knit 1, pass 2 slip stitches over, yarn over, knit 3. Repeat, yarn over, slip 2, knit 1, pass the 2 slip stitches over, yarn over, knit 3, and keep repeating to the last 5 stitches. And you will have a yarn over, slip 2, knit 1, pass the 2 slip stitches over, yarn over, and knit 2. So a little longer, but very simple, not anything really hard. So we knit 2, we do a yarn over. Now we slip those 2 stitches, knit 1, reach back and pass those slip stitches over, just like that. Alright, yarn over, knit 3. 1, 2, and 3. Alright, go back up to the repeat on row 7. It is yarn over, slip 2, 1, 2, knit 1, pass the slip stitch over, and the second one over. Now, yarn over, knit 3. 1, 2, and 3. And repeat. The repeat again is yarn over, slip 2, knit 1, pass the slip stitch over, the second one over, yarn over, now knit 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. Again, yarn over, get some yarn, okay, slip 2, knit 1, pass the slip stitch over, second one over, okay, yarn over, now knit 3. 1, 2, and 3. Alright, and I should be down to the last 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I don't have 5 stitches, and you may not either. Maybe something went wrong. So let's try to figure out, because it's good to figure out. It's most likely a yarn over that you have, that I've dropped or you've dropped. You know, sometimes I try to watch TV and I can't do it. So first of all, go back, and if you would just follow the lines of the little yarn over holes, you can see, and then go back up to the last row before row 7, all right, to see if there was a yarn over. If you notice, on row 5, look on your paper, it said knit 2 together, yarn over, and you'd end with a knit 1. Well, some kind of way I dropped that yarn over. So this is how, instead of going all the way back, we're going to see if this will, if I can fix it. So I should have a, after I knit those 3, now I'm on row 7, knit 3, yarn over. Now I need to slip 1, 2, and then knit 1. I can tell by the pattern that that's in the right place. That just comes with being seasoned to see what stacks on top of what. Now I should have a yarn over, and then there should be a yarn over right here to correspond with the yarn over I'm replacing it with. So I'm going to reach down and lift up a bar. I hope I'm on camera. See that? Because I was watching TV, I guess, and I dropped that yarn over. So I'm going to reach down, lift, and put that bar up there, right? Then I'm there, the yarn over. Now knit 2 stitches. 1, and then the last stitch, 2. So I didn't have to go back, and now when I hold the work, I should be able to see the yarn overs line up. See, they'll always line up. And usually if you're going to do a yarn over, you're doing it on top of another yarn over. So that's a good sign. So if you have a little mistake, just like I did on camera, I didn't expect that. But I didn't panic. Just check and see before you start, well, I got to take it all out. No, try to figure out where the yarn over might have gone, where you might have dropped it. And like I say, usually they stack on top of each other. All right, so now I fixed that. And of course, I knit right on off. And of course, on row 7, on lace number 1, right side, all I have to do is continue to knit across. Whew, that was a scary moment, wasn't it? I guess I fell asleep right here. Oh, man. Oh, gosh. My son, we've had a hard month. He's very busy. Like I said, he's a full engineer, but he still works with trying to encourage young people down in South Atlanta to study robotics, to take engineering and study robotics. And he's been working with a group down there since 2012, I think. So, and they're making and designing a robot, and then they have all kind of little contests, and it's to get young people, especially those that, are living in bad situations, to get into engineering. And that's his way of giving back. So he's been really, so he kind of dropped the ball on my tutorials. You know how mamas come in last. Okay, that's one reason I'm just like, oh man. So I'll do my best to get it up, and like I said, all I can do is keep working at it. All right, now let's look and see where we are. If I turn the work, I just finished row 7. That's my needle hitting the tripod. Okay, so now I am on row 8 of the center, and I'm on row 8 of each side of each lace number 1 on each side. Row 8, row 8. This is row 8 right here in the center. All right. So let me just set my camera just to make sure I have it right, and then I'll be back. We'll take care of row 8, and we'll be done with the center part. Hold on. Okay, now just to remind you, I'm on row 8, and this will be the last row for our center. So I'm just going to make sure we're all on the same page, because now the rows are going to switch up a little bit. So on row 8 of lace number 1, this is lace number 1, the first half, and then the second half. All right, remember on this half, this front half, we have to work the pattern backwards. So reading row 8 backwards. Let's see, can I just go on and do this? So that once I say, okay, I'm turning you loose now to work. All right, so it reads backwards. It says knit 2 together. So I'm knitting 2 together. Then I yarn over. This is on row 8 now. Then it says knit 2 together again. I'm doing it. Knit 1. Then there's a sequence of knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2 together, yarn over, and you should have 3 stitches left right there. Knit those 3. 1, 2, and 3. All right, now I take my eyes and I go over to lace number 2, and row 8 is simply purl across, so that makes that part easier right here. So I have to bring my yarn in front like that, slide the markers, now purl all of these stitches over to the other lace section. So now let's just purl. Make sure I got all those stitches. Yep. All right, here we go. Let's see how quick I can get over there, so I don't have to turn the camera off. See, I'm just hopefully not losing any yarn overs, but I'm just purling because that's what it says on lace number 2, row 8, it says purl. And that's where I am, so that's what I'm going to do. Just like this. Let me kind of turn here. Almost to the end. So they'll have some type of robotic competition around Labor Day, so that means my videos are going to be a little behind. I do have a brand new friendship album video coming up. So the people who who've sent in pictures, and I've already been working on it, you will get a notification. You know, I always notify people when the video will be ready and going up. It may not hit, if he's away on Labor Day and can't get to it, it may have to be after Labor Day. Nothing I can do, people. But at least it's ready and it's going to be real pretty. And I got some pretty music. And then after that, I want to give a special recognition to two ladies, two of my friends, who worked a lot of my patterns. I just wanted to give them some special recognition, just show, you know, my appreciation, not only of friends, but friends indeed. They've worked hard and they've been so supportive, and they've worked my patterns one after another, and I think it needs to be recognized. So that will be after the friendship album. The regular friendship album, then I'm going to do a little second one just to give a little recognition. Alright, so now I'm knitting over, and I have just finished lace number 2, the center section. It was just purl. Now I have to put my yarn in back. Now I'm back up to the second part of lace number 1, and this is row 8, but now we knit it in the direction we would normally knit. It says knit 3, 1, 2, and 3, yarn over, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2 together. Then on row 8 it says knit 1, knit 2 together, yarn over, and knit 2 together. Oh, wow. Now, ooh, this is so tight at the end, but I have to get it in there. Let me see, can I tug at it a little bit? See, people? Even seasoned knitters, we have to push ourselves too. All right, so now as I turn the work, that finished up row 8 for lace 1 and lace 2. So this is what you have. Now you can start to see the center lace start to take shape. And you can see how things will kind of stack. And you can also see, make sure you have points, that you have lace number 1 that is in the same pattern, that you can recognize the stitch, you can see it, hold it up against something. So now you know that is complete. Now here's where it starts to change a little bit. And this is where I'm going to drop off. Okay, so on lace number 1, the 2 edge laces, of course I'm going to go to row 9. I'll be doing row 9. Alright, and it's just a knit row, but at least that's row 9. But at the same time, I'm have to work row 9. Now this pattern, the second lace, I have to go back to row 1. See, now the rows are not going to line up so good. Eventually they'll catch back up, I think. It depends on how many you do. But now you have to really pay attention. Take one sheet at a time. That's why you need them separate, and 2 markers, and just however you mark. This is how I do. I just write the numbers, and I have these little sticky things. So I know I'm on row 9, and I can see that's the front side, so I know I'm on knit. On the center section, I know I have to start over with row 1, so I will take my time and do row 1. And then finish out. Does that make sense so far? Now, I can just leave you now for a while because I have to work mine just like you. You're going to work up the 2 edge laces. Lace number 1 is more important. You go by this lace. So what we want to do is from this point, now if you need to take a marker or something and put it, you can tell though that little separation line, I can tell right here. But if you need to mark this as the first one of the back, see that separation line right there. So this will, once I finish, I'll start my new count. 1, 2, 3, 4, however many of these scallops you need to go across your back. So you can hold it up to your body. You know, you don't have to be using numbers. I'm just telling you my numbers. So if I did, for instance, like for some reason, I messed up and I did 9, I didn't go all the way to 10. So I know I'm going to do at least 9 across, probably 10, and I might even go 11, but I'll go up to at least 10. But it's not an odd number. You know, I like the odd numbers in the back. So I may have to go to 11 to get that odd repeat. I will meet you back as I close in on the number of repeats I need to go across my back, whether it's 10 or 11, whatever it is. I'm going to be working faithfully, and I hope you will too. And then I will join back up as we get ready to show you how to end this back section and then start the decrease down. Does that make sense? Are you excited? Are you just like, what? Or are you just sitting there eating a sandwich going, mm-hmm. And this lady, I'm just really, look, she's real interesting. Well, I'm going ahead and get me a salad. Oh, I cooked some mustard greens. No, I didn't. I cooked turnip greens and had Mexican rice, and I had barbecue chicken, and I had some nice carrots. I try to cook, I cook a lot of vegetables. And so I'm going to go have me a nice little dinner and then work trying to get this section worked up. So I'm just trying to spur you on. Take your time, keep each lace separate, make sure you're on the right row for each lace, because now they will not match up. But you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. You're going to love this shawl, I'm telling you. And you're going to love this idea once you get down this knitting from knitting backwards on one side, because once we put it in a sweater, you're going to go, man, that was so easy. Well, all right, I will join you back up after I knit however many of these scallops I need to go across my back. And you can hold it up to your body, people. And if you're wider, just put more. Like I said, I just like the odd number. I will see you back soon, so happy knitting. Take care. Don't lose yarn overs. I'm going to eat my dinner. See you after a while. Okay, so I'm back, and I have worked the center portion of the lace of this shawl, and I chose to, well, on the first shawl, the green one, I worked 11 of these little scallops to go across my back. You know, I just like that odd number. So I went ahead and bit the bullet, and I worked 11 for this shawl also. Now, just so that we're on the same page, now like I said, now we need to stop the center lace. We've worked up, you've held it up to your body, it will go across from shoulder to shoulder. Now we need to stop the center lace, but we will continue in our double lace on each side of the shawl as we start to decrease down back to the beginning of the shawl again. And this is how we're going to do it. Alright, so this is row 11. I've just finished row 11 of my shawl. And when I turn the work, I will be on row 12. I turn the work. I know I want to stop now, so I am going to stop. I'm going to work row 12, but I am going to stop the center portion of the lace. And this is all, everyone will stop it just like this. Let me pull in a little bit so I can get started. All right, so here we go. All right, so I have to work row 12, of course. And row 12, I won't put it back on the screen. I'm just going to work it real quick. starting on the back end of the row, it says to knit 2 together. This is row lace number 1, the double lace, and this is row 12, working backwards. Knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 3 together. I had a few minutes of silence outside, and I thought, let me jump on camera here so I can, let me just kind of untangle my yarn here so that I don't have to, so I can try to get this done and get it to you. Alright, so that was knit 3 together, which I was able to do. Now I'm going to yarn over, this is row 12 now, and then knit 5. There should be 5 stitches left. Well, the silence didn't last that long, did it? Oh, man. Okay. Alright, so now I'm going to put my yarn in front because I see that I am on the wrong side of this center lace section. And on the wrong side, we simply purl. But instead of purling, as we would normally do for the center lace, I want to stop the center lace totally. We are done with the center lace of this shawl. So I'm going to leave my yarn in back, and instead of purling across, I'm going to slide my marker. Now start knitting each stitch, and now you can take off the center markers, and I'm going to knit across on this purl side because we're going to stop this center lace. So I'm going to knit as quick as I can across. That will leave a garter ridge on the front side, which you will see, and of course that shows the end of the center back lace number 2. So here we go. I'm going to just knit across, not purl. Knit on this wrong side on row 12. Just want to make sure we're all in the same place or on the same page as we get ready to decrease. Start the decrease. So I am just going, I don't know how many stitches or how wide you made your lace, but just continue to knit across to the next lace section. Just like this. And I'm up to the marker. I can just take that off now. Not the end marker, just that lace in the center. Alright, now I need to slide the marker for this side of row 12, and we work it in the right direction. And this time we knit 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I need a yarn over, and then we're going to knit those 3 stitches together, just like that. Yarn over 1 more time, and then knit the last 2 stitches together to finish row 12. And voila! Let me turn it over. Let me drop my needle here. Let me turn it this way and check my camera. See if you can see it. Okay, I'll back out just a little bit. Alright, so now I'm laying it out so that you can see. Alright. Now, maybe hard to see, but we know that we have finished row 12, and I have made my 11, completed my 11 to finish off my back. Now by knitting on the purl side, I'm going to have a garter ridge right here as we continue now, as we start the decrease, as we decrease down. So I am done with lace number 2. Lace number 2, I am done. I finished. But I will continue to work in lace number 1. And now that I finished row 12, of course, I've got to go back to row 1. Now, row 1 is one of the rows that I used to increase on. row 1 is simply knit across all the stitches. But we're not going to increase on row 1, just like when we began. I will continue to work row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, and I will join back with you at row 5. We will start the decrease at row 5. So that's all we're going to do now, is simply go by you should have this all printed up or written up so that it makes sense to you. And like I said, we will not increase until we get to row 5. So I'm going to continue now to work across. And this part, the center part, will go back into stockinette. Knit on the front, purl on the back. And we simply, all we have to do now is just work the double stitch, double lace on each end. Alright, I'll see you back shortly, and I will be up at row 5, ready to do our first decrease. Not at row 1, but at row 5. See you back in just a minute. Alright, so I have a minute that I had to finish up so I can get to this, to our first decrease. We skipped decrease number on row 1 on this as we started our down hillside. But now I'm on row 5, and it's a right side row as we are looking at lace pattern number 1. We're over lace pattern number 2. Now we're strictly working in lace pattern number 1. I'm kind of all off camera on it. Okay, we're doing lace pattern number 1, and so I've knit over to, on row 5, I've knit over to, and I want to go to the last 2 stitches before the marker. So I have 2 stitches, and just real simple, just like the increase was really easy, this is just knit 2 stitches together right before the marker, before you go into the next lace section right there. So I've knit those 2 stitches together. It'll make a nice clean separation. And since on row 5 is a right side, so I just knit to finish off row 5. Just knit across all these lace stitches, just like this. And voila, there we go. All right, and of course the next row when I turn the work, but that's your decrease, all right? And we had to start it on row 5. So now I'll turn the work, and now I'm simply on row 6. Let me just check my camera, of lace number 1. And let's see, back out a little bit. All right, so now we would just continue to work row 6, row 7, row 8, and then again, once we get back on to row 9 on the right side, we'll come to the last 2 stitches before the marker again, knit those 2 together, and continue to decrease down. Now, depending on how many little scallops you had to go up that you put in the front, the whole aim of this is to get back down, and we'll back out a little more so I can get some of this on here. All right, so if I had, if I did 10 or however many you did up the front, then on this side, of course, we want to continue to just keep working the pattern down until you have that many scallops on this side. And depending on how many stitches that you cast on from at the beginning. On this one, I cast on 27 stitches. And that's what I'm going to try to get down to. Now look, people, you know, this is just knitting. This is just plain knitting. It's not anything, mistakes happen, knit happens. And if you see, as we get down to the bottom, and I'm going to rejoin you as we get down near the last couple of scallops, at least last scallop, I'll come back on to make sure we bind off right. But if you see like, okay, I got the last scallop, but I still have too many stitches, well, you can just knit 3 together or whatever it takes to get down to your number. It will not be seen nor will it show. But I just want you to know that, how we're trying to get back to the same, the same numbers we started with to make this side of the shawl match. But like I said, things happen. This is just yarn, people. Relax. I just kept plodding along. But I have decreased down to the same number of scallops that I have on the when I started the shawl, to the same number of stitches that I had when I cast on. For me, I cast on 27 stitches, and so I have decreased back down. Now listen, if you decrease down and you see that for some reason, maybe you have an extra stitch when you reach your number, whatever number you cast on, well, just back up, and then you could always just knit 3 together instead of knitting 2 together to get rid of that extra stitch, or you may have to just go one more row or whatever and just knit, take care of that one stitch. Listen, people, things happen. It just happens in knitting, even to the best of us. I fall asleep so much or watch tennis, I get so excited, and then I wind up like, oh my man, well, I could have made the mistake way back up here. Well, I'm at the end now. Look, and that's all that counts, and I have the right number of stitches, and I hope you do as well. Now, let's see how we can finish. So when I got the right number of stitches, I was on row 8. I was up to row 8. Row 8, of course, working this lace is the side that I'll work the lace on. Because it's the back side. When I reached the right number of stitches, for me it was 27, and I had done the last increase was on row 5, and as I was knitting 6, 7, now when I got to 8 and I counted my stitches, because you'll have to stop and count every once in a while because you want to, stop at that number, the number you started with, I realized I had 27. And at row 8, I'm thinking, great, I'm done. I don't need to go any further. That's all we're concerned about. This edge will take care of itself. Just like when we started, it's not a full little scallop or diamond when you first start. You may not have noticed that, but I noticed it, when I started the shawl. So this one stops kind of in the middle, and I do not have to go all the way to row 12. So on row 8, which is the wrong side, it will be the side that I would do the lace. Well, all you have to do is just knit every stitch. So you want to be on the wrong side wherever you stop. I would just make sure that I'm on the wrong side, knit all the stitches on that wrong side, just like that. Just knit across. We're done with the lace. We're ending. So when I turn the work, this would be row 9 if I was still in pattern, but I'm out of pattern now. And I've knit across row 8 on the wrong side, which will give me, remember when we started the front edge, remember? We cast on and we knit 2 rows. Now let me see if that's on camera. Yeah, it is. We cast on and we knit 2 rows, and you can see them right there. All right, so this is when I knit on row 8 on the wrong side. That's 1 row. That represents 1 row. And now I'm just simply going to bind off on the right side, which would, if I was still in pattern, would be row 9 or whatever row you're on. So you're just going to bind off now, and this is going to represent the second row number 2 to match where we knit 2 rows when we started. So knit 2 stitches, reach back and bind off. Knit another stitch, reach back and bind off. Just really simple. They're as close can be. I have the same number of stitches. I'll just bind off a few more. I won't go all the way across. So we can stop and talk a minute, so that there was a couple of questions that came up, so maybe I can hopefully answer those. All right, so I'm just binding off. I started with knit 2 rows, so this represents I knit 1 row already on the wrong side, and then this bind off row will represent like the second knitted row. Just knit, reach back, and bind off. Knit a stitch, reach back, bind off. And we're going to continue across. Just like that. And man, I made it. I did not have to open a third skein of yarn. I was able to get it all done with 2 skeins. I forgot the yardage on these skeins, 250 something, I think, so that gives you an idea what a good stash buster this shawl will work out to be. Okay, let me just kind of get a idea. Let me pull up a yarn here so I don't lose it. Alright, so now I'm just all off camera. I'm sliding down. My work kept sliding down. I hope you can see it. Now you can see it. I kept knitting and just sliding down. It is still kind of humid, even though it's really nice. Alright, so now you see. Turn that camera. There you go. You can see I have an edge that looks pretty much like this edge where I started and knit 2 rows. I knit a row, and now the second row I'm binding off. And there it is. So that brings us to the end of this shawl. So now I'll just lay it here for a minute and we'll talk. Make sure I don't lose anything. Alright. I'm going to steam my shawl. Now if you prefer to wet block, and if you have a place to, I just don't have the room or place to wet block to, but to pull out all the scallops, but you are welcome to however you want to. Now I'm going to back way out so that I can, oops, sorry. Ooh, I really made you dizzy in, didn't I? Okay, I'm going to try to get some of this here on camera so that you can see it. I'm going to take it to my ironing board and do my little steaming and try to open it up so that I'll be able to take pictures at the end. I won't get on camera and wear this one since it's just like the green one. It's just a different, it's the same brand, Line brand, Heartland, but it's in this pretty kind of a tweed color. Pull in a little bit. And I don't know, it'll be really, this feels like it has wool in it. This one turned out a little heavier. It's not as silky and pretty and drapey as the green one in the Joshua Tree color. But that just means I'm ahead a shawl. This one I can wear maybe later on in the winter, actually after January, because even though it's the same yarn, but it feels heavier. So that's the thing you have to kind of watch too. Now, let me show you something. I'll be right back. Alright, so I wanted to show you these other little samples because I had a question. One of my friends, YouTube viewers, said, well, Jay, supposing I don't want the shawl, can I just do it like, just not increase or decrease, just have it straight? And I started to laugh and tell her, that's exactly what I started out with. This is what I started out making people. I wasn't even going to think of a shawl. I was going to think of some quick scarves or something. And I thought, because I didn't know if the knitting from back to front and all that would be confusing. So I thought, well, I'll just do it as a scarf. I'll just start as a scarf. And then I kept looking. So this is the same yarn as the green one. This is Line brand Heartland, the Joshua Tree. But this was the first part. This was a project I started. And then I thought, you know what? I just thought it was just too pretty a stitch having double lace on each side to wind up with just a scarf. But then after she asked me, I thought, well, you know what? What a great idea for a beginner. For not a beginner, just learning to knit, but someone who's just getting into some of the lace knitting. That this would be a great start. You can simply just knit, and this is the same number, but there's just no increases. I had 9 stitches for each side of the lace. You can put any number in here you want. I think I probably put 9 in here, so there was 9, so I probably cast on 27. But I just kept knitting. I never did increase, and of course there's no decrease, and then you can make the scarf as long and to wrap around your neck, and it can drape pretty. Let's see, it's the same color as the first shawl that I was wearing. But this was what I started out with. So, you see, that's why, remember I'm the it lady, what if, this is why I can't write up so fast. I'm going like half, look, almost finished the scarf. Then I went, well, what if, And then I just grabbed another skein. That's why I buy in 4s or, fives. And some colors, if I really like them, I'll buy an extra skein. If I don't know if I'm going to add sleeves to something, I always know I need a little extra. So what if I just kept knitting and not increase? And this is the scarf that I got. So yes, you can simply do this and not increase and have this beautiful scarf in any color. You can experiment on different yarns because a scarf is meant to be wrapped, but you could go heavier in a scarf because, it's just to be, you're just going to wear it around your neck. It doesn't have to drape like a shawl. It doesn't have to hang in the back. Now, later on, I will do this. Later on, we will take the same, if not this stitch. Like I said, there's several others where I knit backwards and forward that make mirror images. And we'll fill in and make a beautiful lace shawl on each side and lace down the middle, but have it like a long rectangle shawl. So I'll save that, but here is something for you to at least try. And then I wanted to show it to you one last time in some yarn. This was... You're going to go, Jay. All right, this is after I did the scarf, then I changed my mind. I thought, that's just not exciting enough. So I started the shawl in this color yarn. This was some leftover Isaac Mizrahi that I had gotten at Michael's way back, a couple years ago. And I bought up quite a bit of this. And I don't even have the name of this color in the band somewhere, but I had at least 3 little skeins. And it's like a number 3, but I used a number 8 needle, just like I did. And it's so bright, but as you can see, I'll hold it up. As you can see, it is the double lace. And this one's almost finished. And if you notice, I did not on this one. This is when I did the, well, what if? See, I would have. That's why I don't try to write up patterns per se. Halfway, look how much work I had done on the shawl. Then I decided, well, what if I find another lace pattern to put in the center instead of doing stockinette on the front and the back? Well, of course, that led me to find another pattern, which, I've shared with you. So I'm left with this one. Now I can just finish this, and this will make a nice little gift for someone. Like I say, we try to give our things to people that are knit worthy. But I have I gave one shawl to a very sweet young lady that works at my Kia dealership. She would always take care of my car, make sure my car got good service, got it in and out. She would always make sure that the guys ran it through the car wash, little things like that. So I did her one for Christmas, or it might have been after Christmas, I can't remember. And so this will be one I could just simply finish now that I've got it down. See, I'm almost to the other end before I had the what if moment. Well, what if, and I started all over again. I went back to the green, and this is when I came up with the green and worked the whole thing. But since this one doesn't have the lace in the center, it doesn't take as long. So this would be cute for a young person or someone that likes bright colors, maybe a teacher, maybe someone, a middle school teacher, or someone where there's going to be where they wear a lot of t-shirts and bright colors. This would be real cute. So I don't look at it every time I do a what if. Yes, it's time consuming, but I don't look at it that way because in the end I come out with an extra gift, and see, all I have to do is just finish the other end, and I'm done. Steam it out nice and pretty, put it in tissue paper, put it in a pretty gift bag. The next time I need something, if this is kind of, maybe something they would wear, bingo. I'm already ahead of the game. Okay, so I believe that's it. We finished the second shawl. I'm going to get some pictures, and, we'll just, I hope you continue to work on this and choose one, if you decide to, if you're new, try the scarf. If you someone who's much young and you like brighter colors, here it is. I've given you this sample, Like I said, I'm going to keep this as a giveaway. And of course you have the 2 shawls. All that from one pretty little double lace pattern and a what if. Now what could be better than that? I'm telling you, I've had fun. I'm excited about our moving right on as the fall, or a lot of places know it as autumn. I'm working on the next projects already, and I hope you just give this one a try.